welcome to another episode of the free Epic Games, because each week there's a new game for free on Epic Games.
This week is no exception.
This week is no exception, and it's a Viking game, because we had Bad North, if you remember. It was a strategy. This is something completely different, because it's actually, the main character is a woman, I believe, even though it doesn't look like it much.
That it doesn't matter that it's a woman,
because
but
she's got a really big axe, and she's a Viking.
Yeah,
and
it's a bit like dwarves. You know, you can't really tell the difference between male and female dwarves. Probably because of the beards females have also. Doesn't she have a beard? Thora in this game?
Yeah,
it looks like
I think she's got like long hair that might like look like it's a beard.
Anyway, we know she's a Viking.
Yeah, and we know that she's in the like Norway mythology, and there are like not too much realistic things. Meaning like it's more like a fantasy.
It's fantastical,
and it's all about the Norse mythology.
And it's called
Jotun Valhalla edition.
I was very excited when I saw that. I really like
nice.
Norse mythology. I got really into Norse mythology when I was a kid. And so this one, knowing that compared to Bad North, which is the same aesthetic but has nothing to do with mythology, Bad North could be in any civilization. This seems to be built on Norse mythology, and you could not separate it from that. And it's a very cool aesthetic.
And this game is all about the story and the bosses, because there are several bosses, and I mean like there are like normal levels that are not so hard, I would say. Unless like you want to get all the things in the level that actually will help you in the end to face the bosses.
Even then, it's not hard. It just takes more time and some more exploration to find all the bonuses and things. Yeah.
And the nice thing is that there are like multiple like
things.
Not things.
Stuff. Creatures.
No.
Events. Items, bonuses, skills. We're gonna find it, I swear.
Winter and the other
seasons, environments,
environment. You said all things except that one. Okay.
I was saving the best for last.
Multiple environments, and in each environment there's something different. And I really like the most. I like the frozen one in the snow, because you're on the ice. And it's
slippery. I should have guessed it. It's
and there's a monster
sticky.
Coming out of the...
This was very intense. But actually, I just like the variety. I wouldn't say I have a favorite environment, but they are each extremely different. Every time you enter a new environment, you feel almost like it's a different game, because it's no, not a different game, but it's a different experience. Something about that particular environment requires you to play in a different way. It looks very different, and it's connected to a different Norse god. So, for me, I didn't spend a lot of time on the bosses. And one thing that I really liked, jumping straight to the pros for me, is that you didn't have to defeat any of the bosses to continue exploring the other realms. I really like that design decision that I faced most of the bosses. Most of them I didn't defeat because I got bored, and I thought, well, I just want to explore another realm. So I would just leave the boss, go to another environment, look around. And for me, it was a fun exploration game where I could feel the Norse aesthetic, and that was really the most positive thing for me.
It's kind of nice that you can like evade the boss, go on further, and get like things that will help you for the weaker boss. So and then even come back to the boss. For you, you can come back stronger. Yeah. Even though there's not like any skill tree level.
No, but you find new skills, you find upgrades, and then you can return to the same bosses, bigger and stronger.
But this all sounds nice, but it's really like simple. The mechanism is very simple.
How dare you?
There's not many like the special skills. You got just like a weak
attack,
the strong attack, and the special skill. Three different skills.
Yeah.
And I must say, like for the graphic, everybody says it's pretty. It's pretty when it's from distance. I really like it when it's from a distance. But
like looking at
things, or like when her is actually when your main character is small, then it looks nice. But usually it's like focused too close. The camera is too close. I understand why, because it wants you to like on the level design, it wants you to explore, so you don't see much like in advance.
Right. And sometimes you
when
need to be
it's
closer
too
to
close,
the
it's like a little bit
cartoony,
and I'm missing the details because like this is like looks like a mobile game, even though it's not.
Yeah.
Because when it will be on the mobile, it will look really nice. But since it's on the computer, it's zoomed in, and the details are not so nice. I wouldn't say the graphic experience sometimes. Yes.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
I have to agree.
Okay.
But I would emphasize that at the moments when the artwork is really well presented, it's beautiful and stunning. And not only the art style, which I do like when you have those big views over a valley or over some mythological scene, like this is really cool. And the way the camera moves to kind of reveal those moments.
But this is only
really
like a few moments.
It's true.
It's not the whole game. The most of the game is like focused on your character and moving around, running around.
It's true.
And actually, most of the levels you can just run around.
Yeah.
You don't have to kill anything. So I wouldn't say it's too deep.
Well, like I enjoyed the environments. I think maybe more than you, I enjoyed the artwork by accepting the times that it felt more cartoony and being impressed by the times that it's more epic. And the times that it feels more epic, I really felt like I was in this Norse mythological world. And I really liked that. It gave me the desire to start studying like Norse mythology again. I will jump to my main problem, which is, well, I don't like really difficult, challenging games that frustrate me. And often the bosses, after a few attempts, made me feel like, okay, like, forget this, I'm going to go back to exploring because that's what I enjoy.
Since you got the chance.
Right, which is good, because if
you're not stuck.
If, like, the first boss that I faced, I had to pass that before moving on, I probably would have gotten much more annoyed and spent less time in the game. I think the problem is that there is a little bit for everyone to enjoy, that you could enjoy just like exploring it, and everything between the bosses is very simple.
Yeah,
it's not challenging. You just explore. It's pleasant.
You got enough health.
Yeah,
no problem in that.
Nothing is really going to threaten you. And then the bosses are quite difficult. So either you're going to enjoy this pleasant kind of exploration experience, or you're going to enjoy the challenge of the boss that requires some skill and dying and learning their movements. The problem is that most players will like one side of that, but it doesn't fit well together.
So what do you say about the whole package? Would you recommend it to people? Because for myself, this time I have to say no, because I mean, it's a good idea. I guess the creators are like not experienced enough, so I would like say keep on doing the games and it's going to be better and better.
Yeah.
But this time, for me, it's no, not yet. Because of the simplicity and...
Yeah. I think that's fair, and I think all of the negative things you listed, I agree with. I'm a little bit on the other side of the line. I would say, yes, you should play this simply because it is a very unique experience and a unique environment. And I think if you play it for a couple of hours, you will remember some of those environments and just the world that it has created. I think that's worth spending a little bit of time on it. Anyone who is really interested in Norse mythology should definitely play it, and I think anyone who really enjoys challenging boss battles could find it interesting.
I must say they were not too challenging for me. Maybe the last two or something, because I could finish them like first one I think for the second try, and it takes few tries, but they are not so smart.
Well, I think it's better for our audience to listen to you. I mean,
I'm more experienced gamer than you are not, so it depends.
And you are the Dark Souls player. You like the really challenging game. So if you say it's not challenging enough, then I'll remove that from my recommendation.
It's okay, but I wouldn't say it's like really challenging.
Yeah.
Like,
well, and I think the central problem is that you have to be prepared for is anyone who likes challenging games will be bored. Could be bored with everything besides the bosses, and people who like relaxing exploration games will be annoyed by the bosses. So there's something there, but I think it's trying to do two different things.
And I think this game actually looks better when you see it on the trailer than actually plays, because in the past in a few games we had quite the opposite approach, but this time it really looks nice. But when you actually play it, feels.
I'm still going to say yes. Okay. You should try it, but give it maybe a half an hour.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes is there. And the last thing I will say, we usually don't compare to too many other games, but the whole time through this game, I was thinking of the Banner Saga, which is also kind of Norse aesthetic fantasy.
Because
some
of how it looks.
similar mechanics. The Banner Saga is also hand-drawn animation. It's true. There are a lot of similarities, except I kept thinking that Jotun is trying to be what the Banner Saga is. And it is an incredible series of games that I hope we will review at one point, because I love it. If your interest is the Norse mythology, start with the Banner Saga, play those 3 games, and then you should still click on Jotun. It's free this week. You'll have it in your library to play when you're missing the Banner Saga.
If you decide to play the game, I played it on the gamepad, with the gamepad, and it was really good with the gamepad. Okay. You played it with the keyboard? How was it? And the mouse?
It was fine. It was a little bit strange because you have one hand on the keyboard with all the movements and like special actions, and the mouse is just for the weak and strong attack.
So at least like the gameplay is good.
Yeah, the gameplay is good. Then I could complain about the way that the attacks work and something like this. It's not very polished, but I think we've said enough for you to make up your mind. Let us know what you think, and if you decide to play this, tell us your own opinion. Tell us if you completely disagree with us. If you happen to love this game, which neither of us exactly loves it, tell us what you love about it. We would really love to be convinced by something that we missed.
Yeah, and if you are not subscribed yet, you should do that, because
what are you doing with your life?
You don't want to miss another week. Right? There could be 1 or 2 or more free games, and since the Christmas is coming, there could be some special game.
It's true. Free games from Epic.
And this might not last forever, so there's like really
subscribe now while you're still getting information about free games from us. Well, everyone, thanks for listening, and we will see you in the next video.